I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by, and weep not for the memories. Hey everybody, I'm back again to discuss our favorite show, Game of Thrones. This is season 8, episode 5, y'all. It is the next to last episode, and folks was wilding out this week. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Normally we discuss trash TV here, which will be things like 90 Day Fiance, Love After Lockup. Now I know Game of Thrones is not technically trash TV, but I love it so much, and the season of 90 Day Fiance, I just wasn't feeling it, so I decided to just switch up shows on y'all, sorry. For those of you who have been asking where are my 90 Day Fiance recaps, I'm actually not gonna recap Happily Ever After. It is in episode 2, I think was this past Sunday, and as I've been watching it, I'm kind of glad that I'm not recapping it. It is boring. A lot of the storylines seem super forced and fake, especially Ashley and Jay, especially Colt and Larissa. It's like we already know what happens in the end. We already know these people aren't together anymore. And Chantel and Pedro, like, Hal and Russ and Elizabeth and Andre are pregnant, and their whole, y'all, I'm not feeling it. But to give you your 90 Day fix, I will be recapping 90 Day the Other Way that comes this summer. I'm so excited about that. So just be looking out for that in the future. But no 90 Day Happily Ever After. Sorry for all my 90 Day fans. You're just gonna have to stick with Game of Thrones for now. Sorry. Okay, so let's get into this week's episode. Y'all, so many central characters died this week. Like people that we have been with since episode 1, since season 1. Let's get into it. It was rough. So first things first, we see basically what I said was gonna happen happened, where Lord Varys basically, you know, Daenerys finds out that it's he who has been leaking information. He is writing notes. He is sending out ravens. He wants everybody to know that Jon is the true to the throne, because Dany is out here wilding out. She's losing it. She's crazy with power and jealousy, and he's not so sure she's going to be the best ruler anymore. So he's writing notes. He's sending it out to whoever, and then one night he's, you know, writing secret whispers in the shadows, and he hears the footsteps, and he knows they're coming for him. Grey Worm and the boys roll up to arrest him. He knows it's his time is up. You know, it's like he accepts his fate. He knows the risk that he took with telling people that Jon was the true heir to the throne, with trying to overthrow Daenerys and make Jon the king. He already knew. He knew that it wasn't going to end well for him. He was just trying to do as much as he could in the time that he had. Tyrion was actually the one that went to Daenerys and told her that it was Varys, but Daenerys wasn't really trying to hear that. She was like, first of all, you betrayed me. Okay, Jon betrayed me by telling his family about his true identity, and Varys betrayed me now that you just told me. But I mean, I wasn't even really tripping on that. I was tripping about you and my man. So Daenerys is just all shook, honey. She not eating. She's still grieving the death of Missandei. She hadn't eaten. She hadn't slept, baby. The bags under her eyes are more luggage than someone who's going on a full trip to Europe for 16 days. She looks rough this week. So they, you know, of course they arrest Varys and bring him outside, and Daenerys, you know, sentences him to die. And of course here comes Drogon out of the shadows to, you know, light him up. I mean, everybody was roasted up crispy this week. Cajun, blackened. So they burnt up Varys, you know. Tyrion was super hurt. Tyrion was distraught, honey. Varys said that he hoped that he wasn't wrong about Daenerys. You know, he's like, I don't want to be right. You know, I want to be wrong about her. I hope that she does what she's supposed to do. But you know, he wasn't too optimistic about it, and rightfully so. So then Daenerys and Tyrion have a conversation where he basically, you know, she tells him that, you know, I know that, you know, your brother is here. We caught him trying to run away. So basically all the advice that Tyrion has given in season 7 into 8 has been wrong. He was wrong about the battle plan. He was wrong about his brother. You know, him and Brienne stuck up for him, and he tried to escape to go back to Cersei. And so she was like, all right, you got one more time. The next time you tell me some misinformation is gonna be the last time. Okay, do you feel me? All right, you saw what just happened to your friend. All right, blackened, crispy. It's gonna be you. We're gonna have little chicken drumettes. All right, your little bitty self is gonna be roasted up. Tyrion is like, shoot, you know, I'm on thin ice as it is, but the love for his family propels him to make dumb decisions, essentially. So he literally thinks that if he sets Jaime free, that he can go and convince Cersei to surrender, and so that there won't have to be bloodshed, because he knows that Daenerys is not hearing reason at this point. She don't care about them people in King's Landing. She's like, who? I don't know them folks. So they can die. It's whatever. He goes and he sets Jaime free, and they have this super, super sweet moment. Like, I teared up a little bit. It was really... Are you done? I have not seen you behave in such a manner. Are you for real? Okay, I think it's done now. Anyway, like I was saying, they had this beautiful, heartfelt moment. I teared up a little bit, where he was telling Jaime that he was basically the reason why he survived. He was the only person who stuck up for him growing up. And it was beautiful, because you saw how much Can I do my recap? You are acting unusually out of character. Not another word, Train. You are disrespectful. Anyway, like I was saying, it was a beautiful moment, and you really saw how much Tyrion and Jaime really do love each other. That at the end of the day, after all this war, after all this choosing sides and him loving Cersei, they're just two brothers who love each other. And that was really, really sweet. I mean, in this episode, we went from two brothers tenderly loving each other to two brothers killing each other. It had so many levels. Sets Jaime free and tells him, go find Cersei, convince her to surrender, ring the bells. He's literally like drilling this in his head. Like, tell her to ring the bells, because I've already told Daenerys that if she hears the bells, she's going to call off everybody. You know, the dragon, the Dothraki, the Unsullied, the Northmen. Like, everybody's going to stop once they hear the bells. That's the plan. Okay, so Jaime goes. He tries to get inside of the Red Keep while the people are coming into the gates. They close the gates on him outside. He doesn't make it in, so he has to go around the back. Meanwhile, so they're all running toward the battle. The big battle scene. Basically, the battle didn't happen how I thought it was going to happen. So I thought it was really ironic that Euron Greyjoy was able to hit, was it Viserion? No, not Viserion. Rhaegar. He was able to hit Rhaegar with 3 arrows dead on when they were flying, but this episode he can't hit the broadside of a barn. So the dragon basically destroyed the whole Iron Fleet, burnt it up. Everything was blown up to smithereens. He comes around because they have those scorpions, which are the huge arrows that shoot the dragons. So they blow all those up on the ships. Those are done for. Then Daenerys is riding Drogon, and they go and they blow up all the ones that are on the wall outside of King's Landing. I mean, Drogon is destroying everything at this point. Daenerys is out for blood. She is not playing with them. The whole Golden Company was out front outside the gates, blew them up in about 2.2 seconds. I mean, how much did Cersei pay for the Golden Company? I hope she paid for them with a coupon, because whatever she paid, they wasn't worth it. They weren't worth 2 dead flies, as my grandmother says. I don't know how much she paid for them, but they were useless when it came to Drogon, because Drogon came and just roasted them up. Rotisserie barbecue. It was the 4th of July. We had straight up barbecue, blackened, crispity, crunchity. Whole Golden Company was the golden rotisserie today, because they got burnt up in 2 seconds. Then after they get burnt up, the Unsullied are outside ready to storm the gates once Drogon blows the whole. I mean, it was like a replay on what the Night King did. Like when he rode the dragon and he blew like ice fire and like tore down the wall. It was like a replay of that. So like he blew down the wall, the Unsullied bust in, like everybody's fighting. It's craziness. It's mayhem. Cersei's watching from up in the Red Keep and she's nervous. Like she's trying to keep a straight face on, but you can tell she's scared. And it's like the first time we've really seen Cersei like afraid, because she usually be having her bad BITCH face on and she don't care about nobody, but she nervous. The battle's not looking good. She lost the Golden Company. They're inside the walls. Lord Qyburn comes and tells her, baby girl, all the scorpions is blown to smithereens, because she was like, they can take the dragon down. He was like, how? Because there's no more arrows to shoot at the dragon. So now he's just going to be burning stuff up. At that point, she pretty much knows that she's lost, but she's still trying to save face because, you know, she's not going to go down like no punk. It's Cersei. So they're fighting. And so the people are like running, craziness, children, women, everybody's scared. So eventually they start screaming, ring the bells, girl, we done lost. Okay, the dragon is flying over us. We nervous, we scared. We not going to win this. Ring the bells. So Daenerys parks Drogon like on the perch of some building or something, and they're just sitting and kind of listening and waiting. People are screaming, everybody's scared, and so they're watching the bells. Tyrion is outside the walls watching the bells. He's hoping that Jaime got inside to convince her. He didn't, but we'll get to that. And then all of a sudden the bells start ringing, and Tyrion's like, oh, praise Jehovah, they rang the bells. And Daenerys has a moment where she teeters on the fence of, do I be my former self or do I be this new woman who doesn't give any F's about any people? This is my throne and I'm gonna take it. And she has a moment of like, she's in the valley of decision. You can see it on her face. She's like, okay, they rang the bells, and I did tell Tyrion if they rang the bells, I would call off the dogs. You know, we wouldn't fight. But then she's like, hold up. I'm Daenerys, first of her name, breaker of chains, mother of dragons, stormborn. No, we finna burn it up today. And she takes off on Drogon and starts to light up the city. I mean, when I say barbecue, she was not playing with them. So as soon as Grey Worm and the Unsullied see her like up there flying and burning up stuff, I mean, they were down there about to fight the people from, shoot, where are the Lannisters from? The Lannister army. They were about to fight them, and you know, they had thrown their swords down. It was like, look, we just trying to get home to our families. This ain't even our war. I know Cersei said that we was gonna fight till our death, but I ain't trying to die today. So they had surrendered already. But as soon as Grey Worm saw her fly over with Drogon and start lighting them up, he was like, oh cool, we killing people? Because my girl just got killed by these folks, and I was trying to kill somebody anyway. He is just seeing red. He throws the spear at the dude. They're fighting. Jon's trying to stop him. Good Lord, Jon. I mean, Jon is just so noble. He is just noble to a fault. I mean, Daenerys just flipped out. Daenerys cut up this week. And you know what? I think it stemmed from when Jon and her had that discussion where he was basically saying, you're my queen regardless. And she was like, oh, am I more than your queen? And she sashayed over and started kissing him. And then he curved her. He hit the... I think that was when she was like, my man don't want me. These people don't like me. I gotta beat Cersei. You know what? I'm just gonna kill everybody. Like, she didn't care at that point. And, you know, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I mean, she's been betrayed by her man. She's been betrayed by her trusted advisors. She's been betrayed by everybody close to her. And she's just done. And I see both sides of it. You know, I hate to see the demise of her character, to go from what she used to be to what she is now. But at the same time, it's like when you've been hurt like that by people close to you, you feel like you can't trust nobody. So it's like, I'm gonna let these people live. So I have to win them over. It's like another group of people I have to try to get them to love me, get them to see that I'm the good queen, that I'm the person that they should be fought. You know what? No, because if I burn them all, I don't have to convince nobody to like me. So that's exactly what she did. And I mean, you know, I kind of see where she's coming from. It's like, I'm just going to lead with fear. She just decided I'm just going to be my daddy. Y'all already think I'm my daddy anyway. May as well be it. It's kind of like when men are like, you already accused me of cheating. You think I'm cheating. May as well cheat. Daenerys is like, y'all think I'm going to be like my daddy, the Mad King. So I may as well be the Mad Queen. And she Mad Queened all up in this episode. I mean, I was trying to figure out how much fire is in a dragon's belly, because she literally roasted up for 40 filming minutes straight. I mean, just flying over roasted. I was like, is he out of fire yet? He's not done? Oh, how much fire can a dragon breathe? It was a lot. Like at some point I was like, girl, you won. Do you have to kill every single person? Okay. Last couple things. So then we get to the scene where, of course, Arya and the Hound are in the Red Keep, and they're just, you know, Arya is hell-bent on killing Cersei. You know, the Hound has to fight his brother, the Mountain. And so they're walking in, the place is shaking, it's about to fall apart. The Hound looks at Arya, is like, girl, go and get out of here. You know, this is not the place for you. And she's like, no, I'm gonna kill Cersei. And he's like, do you want to be like me? Do you want to be consumed by revenge? Because do you see how I live my whole life? Like, I feel like I have to kill my brother, and it has led me here to die. You don't want to be like me. And so his speech gets to her, and she's like, you know what? You're right. I don't want to be like that. So she goes to leave. He goes and fights his brother. So Cersei is coming down the steps. The whole Red Keep is just in shambles, honey. And Lord Qyburn, Cersei, and the Mountain are coming down the steps. He sees his brother coming up the steps. He freezes. I mean, it's like the Mountain and the Hound are staring off. Cersei and Lord Qyburn are like, hey, you supposed to be protecting us, okay? I don't care what's going on between y'all two. He picks up Lord Qyburn, throws him, smashes his head to the white meat. I mean, they killed him like he wasn't a central character for 4 seasons. Like he was nobody. I mean, I wasn't mad because he didn't do nothing but destruct. He didn't do nothing but like make wildfire and make the Mountain Frankenstein and, you know, help Cersei do all kind of craziness. But still, I mean, his death was so unceremonious. Like he just smashed his head against a rock, and they was like, they put the camera on him, and then was like, all right, anyway. Cersei was like, oh, that's how we doing things. You know what? I'm going to stay out of grown folks' business. I'm going to let y'all handle this. I'll be on out of here. She tiptoed on down those steps and got out the way. So then it's the Mountain and the Hound squaring off. I mean, the Hound he was fighting. I was proud of him. He had some good moves. Stick, stab. The Mountain was like, ha! That tickled. Then he's like, okay, let me get my sword out. Boom, boom, boom. Stab. The Mountain was like, ah, I'm already dead. I'm literally Frankenstein. Like, you can't kill me. Like, so he picks him up and is like smashing the Hound's eyes out. You know, he loved to smash folks' eyeballs out. That's what he did to Oberyn. And I was like, oh Lord, he gonna pop his head like he did Oberyn. But he didn't. And so eventually the Hound just starts laughing, and he's like, I just can't kill him. He's like, why won't you die? Like, die. And I'm like, he's already dead. He's like literally Frankenstein. Like, can you kill Frankenstein? I don't think so. He was literally like put together with like parts and stuff. I don't know. But anyway, so he just decides to like tackle him, and they push through the wall, and then he falls down and dies in the flames. And it was sad because I really grew to like the Hound. But it was such a beautiful death. Like, it was so dramatic, and just the cinematography of it all, and just the way the story closed out with him battling his brother and all these years of hate, and just a beautiful death. R.I.P. to the Hound. Sandor Clegane, sir, you went out like a straight G, and I'm proud of you. Okay, so last thing is when finally, you know, Jaime is trying to get to Cersei. He goes around the back way. He runs up on Euron, which I'm like, who cares? Euron, sir, how did you not die on the boat? So him and him have a little fight. He tells him he slept with Cersei. Whatever, who cares? So he stabs up Jaime a couple times. Boom, boom, boom. Jaime's breathing, wheezing. You know, he might have punctured a lung or something. But, you know, Jaime ends up killing him, and he's like all happy because he killed the guy who, you know, was the Kingslayer. Whatever, who cares? Euron Greyjoy's dead, thank God. I already told y'all he musty. So anyway, we won't care about that. So he goes and finally he finds Cersei. They're trying to get out because, you know, Tyrion left them the boat on the side for them to leave so they could go live their own life. So they're down in the crypts, and they're running, and then they get to the end, and it's literally like closed off with rubble. They cannot get out, and so Cersei started freaking out. I mean, she was like, I want to die. My baby's gonna die. I don't want to die like this. And I'm like, now you care about your baby? You had about 3-4 chances to surrender to save your baby's life. Tyrion gave you a whole speech talking about think about your baby, but you wouldn't think about the baby then. Now you want to cry about the baby. I want my baby to die like this. Girl. Anyway, so she went out like a punk. Jaime had to talk her down and calm her down, and they're holding each other or whatever, and then the rubble just falls on them. I was a little mad at how Cersei died. I really wanted Cersei to die like how they killed Littlefinger in last season, like how they just brought him in front of everybody and was like, slit his throat. I mean, that sounds really bad. But I feel like they were scared to like kill a pregnant woman in a violent way because they thought they would get backlash. So they killed her in like a peaceful way, like just, you know, the building just fell on her. But all the stuff she did, she needed a bigger death than that, than just some rubble falling on her. But I digress. Her and Jamie died in each other's arms where they wanted to be together anyway. Good riddance to them. You know, he slept with Brienne and left her. I was still mad at him about that. So good riddance to both of them. So what are we gonna do with that? How do you solve a problem like Daenerys? I don't know what's gonna happen next week. I think it's going to be pretty wild. I think Jon is now nervous that he's going to have to be king because he sees that Dany is unhinged. She cannot be trusted. She's wild-eyed and she is a queen of fear at this point, and she's turning into her father, and he doesn't love her anymore. I mean, I think he loves her, but he knows he can't be with her, and that part of their relationship is done. And so it's like, I don't know what they're gonna do. He was so shook at how she just rolled off and started burning up stuff. He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe how his men were behaving. You know, he's just so noble. He's just so noble. Like, he's noble. Just, you see how your daddy got killed being noble. He ain't learned yet. I don't know who's gonna sit on the Iron Throne. Here's my theory. I think that no one's going to sit on the Iron Throne. I think that Daenerys will probably get killed next week. Jon's going to be like, I don't want to rule. Let all the areas rule themselves. Pick their own king. He's probably going to go back to the north and be the king there. And Dorne and King's Landing, well, King's Landing ain't there no more. But all the other areas, you know, Yara Greyjoy can rule the Iron Islands. I think it's going to be a democracy, kind of like how Earth is. Like, every country rule yourselves, everybody mind your business. There doesn't need to be a single ruler over them all. That's just my theory. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that was it for this episode this week. So let's have a conversation down in the comments. What do you think is going to happen with the last episode? Who do you think is going to sit in the Iron Throne? How are they going to close this out? How crazy is it going to be? I don't know. Let's talk about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter at NICHI_P_tweets for my live tweets during the show as it airs in real time. Thanks for watching again, guys, and I'll see you next week for the finale. Bye.